you. We are going to call this meeting to order. Please stand for the flag salute. Ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing.
Let's pray. Father, Lord, first of all, Lord, we just recognize your presence. It's in these chambers tonight. Father, we want to thank you for this great city, the city of Riverbank. Father, we thank you for the city staff and the elected officials that are here tonight. Lord, we're praying that, Father, you would have your way, that God, that we, Lord, where we lacked wisdom, you said to ask you and you would give it without finding fault. So we're just asking for wisdom tonight in our business and our decisions. Father, we thank you that we have this place where we can share and our voices are heard. We can discuss things that are on our heart, Lord. But at the end of the day, I just pray, Father, all of us continue walking in unity, would do our part in making Riverbank the city that it is. In Jesus' name, amen.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe,
Here.
Councilmember Pimentel,
Here.
Councilmember Call,
Here.
Vice Mayor Fossey is absent. Mayor Hernandez.
Here. There are no agenda changes. As now, any conflict of interest, any council, authority members, staff who has a direct conflict of interest on any scheduled agenda item to be considered is to declare the conflict at this time. Seeing none, we have a presentation from Sierra House Homeless Services update.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight we have a presentation regarding homeless services and Sierra House. So I'm actually going to start off with a presentation regarding the annual point in time count, which will give an updated status of the unhoused in the city of Riverbank. And then we will have the staff from Cambridge Academies here to present all of the great services that are being provided. So the 2025 point in time count is an initiative by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, which is geared towards providing an estimate of the number of individuals who are experiencing homelessness on a single night. It's typically held the last Thursday in January on an annual basis, and the count includes both sheltered and unsheltered individuals. The data is collected and it informs the funding decisions for services and housing assistance. The residents from Sierra House are counted as sheltered. And so those are counted the Wednesday night before. And so what we have for you today are the demographics from the unsheltered count, which are the folks that we typically do not see on a day-to-day basis. But just overall, the status of homelessness in Stanislaus County, as you'll note, over the past 3 years, 23, 24, 25, the count has remained significantly stable. Not much variance in the count, but definitely a huge decrease from the 2021 count, where there was almost 3,000 individuals throughout the county that were considered homeless. Here's a city by city count, and I did a 2024 versus 2025 view. So I'm going to focus on Riverbank specifically. So in 2024, there were 28 individuals counted as homeless within the city of Riverbank and 31 in 2025. I will make note that although I'm stating that these are individuals within the city of Riverbank, some of these individuals actually live in homeless encampments that are outside of Riverbank city limits, but still have a Riverbank zip code. So for our count, for the 31 individuals, we did have 4 sheltered, which were the 4 individuals living at Sierra House, and 27 unsheltered. So here's some of those demographics of the 27 unsheltered individuals. For those who are not familiar with Sierra House, currently we do only focus on servicing males. So that's why our focus today is just simply on the unsheltered. So our demographics here in terms of gender, 7 females and 17 of males. The age ranges, you'll notice the variety of age ranges from the individuals, with those that on the higher end of these age ranges between 45 and 64 account for 14 of the 27. These are the the race breakdown. And the second one, even though it looks like they're both American Indian, the very last line item is American Indian, a Native Pacific Islander, and then Hispanic and Latino. So that does include one individual. The other one doesn't include the Hispanic Latino demographic within the 2 individuals that are there. And then specifically Hispanic and Latino are 7 individuals, and those that identified as white were 14. They did ask, as part of the data that they gathered, is where did they sleep last night? So that was the night before we held the pit count. So the majority of them do sleep outside in a homeless encampment. So that was 11 individuals. We did have quite a few who provided no response or declined to answer. We did have one individual state that they live in or slept in an abandoned building, a few of them sleeping on the sidewalk in parks, and a few in a vehicle or RV or a boat. Another question that was asked was, how long have they been in this community? So we did have 18 individuals who have been here for 36 or more months, with the second highest being observation, no response. That means when we do the pit count, there are 2 ways for us to do the interviews. There's either one where it's an observation, meaning we see them from far away, and for one reason or another, we're not able to interview them face to face. So we simply note gender, some basic information. Obviously, we can't ask them specifically how long they've been in the community because they're not in front of us. So that's why we have the difference between observation, no response, and those that just simply did not want to provide a response. But the majority have been with us for over 36 months. Have you encountered issues accessing services? So we did have 13 respond no. So this definitely plays into the outreach that we've been able to successfully do via Cambridge Academies and Sierra House. We did have individuals who provided no response or who were through the observation, and 7 who responded with yes. And with that, I will have Hallie from Cambridge Academies come up and provide an overview of the services provided at Sierra House.
Thankfully, I wasn't in the ocean with sharks. Well, good evening, Mayor and Council members. Thank you for inviting us here to give you an update on Sierra House. Maricela, or, okay. Where do I aim it? Anywhere? Okay. Okay. Oh, it's not on? Okay, great. Well, Sierra House has 2 primary components, the day center services and the transitional housing. And we'll talk about the day center services first. Day center services have been open for nearly 2 years. And in that time, we've served over 2,300 showers and have met with and provided services for 130 unduplicated people. Now, that may seem like a lot, especially looking at the pit counts through the last couple of years, but we have people that travel up and down the river, and we also have people that are here They go to Modesto for a while, then they come back. So they travel to other places within the county. We also provide hygiene products, food, hot and cold, breakfast, lunches, and dinners. We provide clothing, and we provide laundry services for the clothes that they're wearing when they come in. So if they want those clothes back, the next time they come, we set it aside after we launder it for them. And we also provide case management because there's usually two thoughts or point of views when it comes to providing day services for homeless. It's either the point of view where we're just prolonging the inevitable and, you know, we shouldn't be providing services because they're not changing. They're still on the street. Like the 18 that have been on the street for more than 36 months. And then you have the other point of view, which is more attuned to ours and the cities, which is providing showers, clean clothes, food, case management. It's a question of helping people maintain their dignity on a personal level, but also for public health. We've had quite a few people come to us very ill, and we have gotten them to the hospital and they were able to get the right medication. And although some may have returned to the streets, at least they didn't lose their lives in the street. And they're continuing to access our services. The other part of Sierra House is the transitional housing. And as Maricela had mentioned, we're primarily focused on men right now because that's we have more men that are homeless in the area. And at Sierra House, which has been open almost a year and a half now, we have had 24 unduplicated men come through that process. Now, for those of you who were there for the Restart graduation a few months ago or earlier in the spring, there weren't 24 graduates. But what happens is sometimes it takes people more than once or twice or even 3 times to commit to changing. Because what we ask in our Restart program is for them to take responsibility and commit to changing their mindset. If they come to us with alcohol or drug issues, we have to take care of that first. So we have, within the county, we refer them to BHRS, we refer them to Redwoods, so they can take care of the addiction problem first, and then they're more than welcome to come back to us to come through the program, because eventually we want them to get a job, maintain a job, and get their own housing, because that's only better for the community and for them. Currently, we have, it varies depending on the day, but currently we have between 4 and 6 men for the new cohort that we're starting for the Restart program. So the Restart program, like I mentioned, is really about helping someone change their mindset. And not only that, but helping the men get a hold of and control of their emotions and not blaming everybody for where they are right now, but really taking responsibility, helping them reconcile with families. And that's more of the personal things that we work with them with. Now, there are guys that need their GED before they can even get a job, or they need to get IDs. So we also take care of all of that while they're in the Restart program. The whole purpose is that they reach their full potential. And that's what we tell them. If you live your life blaming others, blaming yourself, you're not free to really become the person you were meant to be and live the life that you were meant to live. And one of the things that we do in our program is we have them write down on pieces of paper, words, negative words that they tell themselves, negative words that people have told them. And then they put that in a backpack. Well, that backpack is filled with rocks, about 20 pounds. We tell them to put that on. That's a physical manifestation of what negativity does to you. And so that's one of the turning points for a lot of the men, when they can physically feel what these negative words they tell themselves and others have told them do to themselves. Community partners, we have several. City of Riverbank, of course, which we have truly appreciated our relationship with you. We have a great relationship with the Sheriff's Department. Oakdale Shelter Pet Alliance is also a huge, huge supporter. They not only provided kennels for the day center for the clients that come in with animals, they provide food, water, and if the animal needs vaccinations, we take them to the clinic down on the 108, and the Oakdale Pet Alliance pays for the shots. Because again, it's part of not only public health, but animal health. The Volt Institute, earlier this year, we had them come out and they provide, it's called Volt on the Go, and they provide free classes for anybody in the community. And we invited the community, but also the guys at the house at the time took part of that. And there are different certificates that you can receive that also help you when you look for a job. And also they have like a 6-month program, a year-long program, which if any of the men are interested in, we try to seek funding to help pay for that. And so it's just another opportunity for these guys to get, off the streets, get a great job, and eventually their own housing. Local churches of all the denominations have been very, very helpful for us, not only through donations, but specific groups within the churches. They have special days, like for Thanksgiving, they come out and they cook and they help, just make special days even more special when you're, at Sierra House. And it's not a shelter, and that was purposeful in the very beginning. We don't want a shelter. That's just housing people. We don't want to house people. We want to help them change and improve their life. In Kaiser Hospital, I'll tell you that we pick up breakfast, lunches, and dinners every Monday from Kaiser that they freely donate. And that is enough food, not only to feed the men that live at Sierra House, but we give it out to all of the community. We give it out through the day center, their regular meals, their vegan, kosher, vegetarian, any kind of meal. And we do that weekly. They provide 250 to 300 meals and snacks every week. And that's a huge savings, not only for us, but for the city. It's an incredible partner to have. We've also had Boy Scout and Girl Scout provide special donations, and we truly appreciate that from the community. Now, many of you probably know that last month, our house manager and facilitator, Seth Anderson, who was with us since Sierra House opened, he moved out of state. And so we were able to hire a new house manager and facilitator. So I want to introduce him. We'll say a few words about himself. His name is Donnie Merchant. Come on up, Donnie.
Hello. I'm Donnie Merchant. I am very thankful to be working at the Sierra House. Just started very recently, so I am still kind of getting used to everything. But this has been an amazing opportunity so far. I've helped 2 people come into the house in my time. So we've accepted 2 new students, and am working to get our next 2 so that when we start our program, we have a total of 6. So far, I would tell you that this program stands out to me. I have worked for the county and love our county and county resources for homeless individuals. I am not at all saying they are not good programs, but I am saying this one is different. I have an ability not to just feed and house people, but an ability to sit with them and talk with them every day and say, what are your dreams? What are your ambitions? Do you want to live in the street 10 years from now? Where would you like to be? And I have an opportunity to walk with them through those changes. And though it may not be a lot of people every year, I like to think of it that if I can help 6 people go from living in the street to having full-time work, houses, and reconnecting with their families, that this is very worth doing. I've had the opportunity to meet Luis today, and apologize if I haven't got to meet all of you yet, and will admit I am also a lead pastor at a church in Modesto, and I'm going through my master's program. So I do have a full plate, but I am at the house every day, and I'm more than happy and welcome any kind of visits and time to spend with you guys and talk about the homeless community. Even the people that are using our day center, I've had opportunities to meet and connect with, and even if they're not yet ready to come into a program like this, I am communicating with them about the resources that I'm aware of in the community where they could at least get into housing. Whatever I can do to help somebody go from where they're at to where they want to go, which is off the streets, I'm happy to take. So thank you guys for your support and for this opportunity, and know that I am going to do my absolute best to help the homeless people in our community, whether they have a history of violence, whether they have a history that they're ashamed of, or as some that I've met are veterans and are struggling to get help. I am happy to help anybody I can. So thank you for your support, and you guys are making that possible. And I'd like for the city to know and everyone to know that yes, there are drug addicts, and yes, there are people with mental health problems, but there are also people like you and me who have just had a series of unfortunate things happen in their life, even veterans who have lost everything, and they just need help. So your support is making that possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. I hear a bit of an echo. Okay, perfect. I have been participating in it's around my birthday every year, the point in time count. So I do that as a bit of a birthday celebration. There's always that caveat that it's only a one portion, like one point in time that we're capturing. There's cultural language barriers, folks that have limited access to resources. And we know also that people who suffer from homelessness, usually that happened in the area where they're staying. So Sierra House is really important what you're doing, and thank you, Donnie, for bringing your expertise. Did anyone have any questions or any comments?
I would like to ask Haley a quick question, just for clarification, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, and this is just for the public, so I believe after the first class of graduates, that there were efforts to actually seek out a class of females, but were unsuccessful, and that's why we kind of transitioned back to seeking out another class of males. Is that correct? Would you mind? I'm so sorry to ask you to come back up. I apologize.
Correct. We originally talked about switching back and forth, men, women, but we do not have enough women in the area that want to take part in it. Most of those 18 that have been here over 36 months are couples, and it's not co-ed. and they're older. And so it's still, you know, a plan if that need arises. And one of the things that we as an organization have always done is be able to react to what the community needs. So right now, the men in the community need the program because there's not enough women who want to take part. If that changes in the future, that's not a problem with us.
I appreciate you clarifying that.
Sure.
And I know Donnie said it, you know, it's the council that's, you know, it's because of us that, you know, this is happening. But in reality, it is because of you guys, right? So it's because Cambridge Academies and so welcome, Donnie, to the city. But this is a complex problem. And so we do need professionals as yourselves to take part in this and help us move this forward. So appreciate you guys.
All right, thank you very much. We are moving on to public comment. At this time, members of the public may comment on any item not appearing on the agenda and within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council LRA Board. Individual comments will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes and time cannot be yielded to another person. Under state law, matters presented during public comment cannot be discussed or acted upon.
Mayor, we did not receive any written comment and I did not receive any comment cards.
Did we have any public comment? We can start with you. Thank you.
Hi, Kate Donovan, a resident of Riverbank since 1999. I'm sorry, I didn't look at the agenda, so I don't know if this is legit to talk about.
What
I
is your
wanted
comment
to address the Riverwalk project.
Okay, you can go ahead.
I did attend the July 9th presentation. Thank you, by the way, Mayor Hernandez, for the opportunity and council members. At that presentation, I became very concerned. I felt that the presenters were really trying to gaslight us with a lot of data that didn't make sense. And I hope you all picked up on that too. So I decided to explore it more thoroughly. And besides the obvious issues of farmland, sprawl, wildlife, et cetera, in exploring it more deeply, I've become concerned that there are even more serious issues, those being water and sewage and the infrastructure needed to support it. I understand that there is a $90 million cost to the infrastructure. I believe that's for Crossroads West. I don't know if that includes the Riverwalk or if Riverwalk is going to be on top of that. I also understand that the federal funding was canceled. So now all that burden falls on the city of Riverbank. And I'm wondering how we're going to pay for that. Certainly that's going to have to be shifted to the citizens of Riverbank. So I also understand there's an urban initiative vote on the ballot in November 2026. And it's possible you will vote on this before that, but I would urge you, if you have any concern, any inkling of doubt about this, to wait until the citizens have a chance to speak, because the financial burden is obviously going to shift to the citizens. I know my husband and I can afford it, but I think there are many citizens in Riverbank who have a modest income, and I'm concerned about their ability to afford it. And I'm going to wrap up here, but then there's also the issues of, I do live on the river, so I watch recreation, I watch homeless. From the map, I could see there is a nice pathway along the river in the Riverwalk project. That's going to allow easy access to the river. So that will invite day trippers, homeless, trash, and I'm wondering who's going to monitor that and how we're going to deal with that. So I would appreciate the opportunity to meet with any of you, each of you individually, but I would urge you to just slow down, take your time on this one. It's a major change. Thank you.
We had another public comment. Please.
Just here to remind you that the library is still here. I'm branch manager, Maria Solis. Okay, we start all over. This is Maria Solis, and I'm the branch manager at the Riverbank Library. Even though we're having some basic remodeling, you can still find us at the Teen Center, 3600 Santa Fe. We have story time starting up again next week, Tuesday at 11 a.m. We rotate between regular story time and bilingual story time, but yeah, basically just reminding you that we're still here. Okay, thanks.
Any other public comment? Please.
Good evening, I'm Michael Christie. I'm Skylar Court in Riverbank Crossroads. I just wanted to let the Sierra House know, make sure we get behind them and let us know as a community what we can do for them to help them. And then second, November 8th, not too far off, but Shop with a Cop, Comedy with a Cop at 108 Sports Lounge. Last year was a blast. So mark your calendars, get your tickets early on Eventbrite because I believe the venue will sell out. It's limited seating. So it's a great cause, great night. So I hope, we hope to see you guys there. Thank you.
Any other public comment? All right.
Mayor, we have one on Zoom.
Okay.
Ms. Agers, can you please unmute?
Hello? Hello?
Ms. Agers?
Hello? Yes. My name is Barney Agers.
Ms. Agers, can you please unmute?
Hello, my name is Barney Agers. I live on the western edge of the proposed project. I would like to point out,
Oh, Mr. Agers?
yes,
Oh, can you please restart? We couldn't hear you.
my name is Barney Agers. I live on the western edge of the proposed project. I would like to point out that at the July 9th Riverwalk meeting, numerous Riverbank residents and voters requested having the option to vote on the urban limit initiative before the council takes action on Riverwalk. I recommend you voted in, folks, listen to your constituents who you represent. There's no reason to rush into a decision on approving Riverwalk. Such a immense project needs to be considered completely. And basically, I've walked the neighborhoods in Riverbank for over 2 years and spoken to voters. They basically say, we don't need it, we don't want it, we don't want to be associated and expected to pay for this. The expenses will be passed on to them and they resent that. The traffic and other impacts that aren't addressed are immense. And you folks really need to give this a thorough analysis. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. That is all, Mayor.
Thank you. All right, item 9, consent calendar. Is there a motion to consider?
Oh, thank you, dear.
Motion to
So,
consider.
so I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar as stated.
Second.
A roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe?
Yes.
Councilmember Pimentel?
Yes.
Councilmember Call?
Yes.
Mayor Hernandez?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Great, thank you. We have public hearings, item 10.1, a public hearing to adopt a resolution of the City Council, City of Riverbank annexing of territory to a community facilities district, authorizing the levy of a special tax and submitting levy of tax to qualified electors. City of Riverbank Community Facilities District number 2016-1, Public Services, Annexation number 3, and a resolution of the City Council of the City of Riverbank declaring results of a special annexation election, determining validity of prior proceedings, and directing recording of amended notice of special tax lien, City of Riverbank, Community Facilities District number 2016-1, Public Services, Annexation number 3. And so this is a public hearing. Is there a presentation? Yes, thank you.
Mayor and council, as the mayor read that long title, basically what we're considering tonight is the annexation of a new development into the City of Riverbank's Community Facilities District 2016-1. For those who may not be familiar with that Community Facilities District, it was established in May of 2016 with the intention that future development within the city would annex into the district. So far, annexation number 1 has annexed 6 parcels into the city's district, and that was in 2021. In 2023, we had annexation number 2, which is annexed another 4 parcels specific to Crossroads West. And then in 2025, this is now annexation number 3, which will annex 3 parcels. The purpose of the CFD is to mitigate the impact of new development and in order to maintain current service levels for police services, park maintenance, street maintenance, drainage maintenance, and landscape maintenance. This basically has replaced what you formerly know as landscape and lighting districts. So the proposed annexation is with regards to the River's Edge subdivision, which is located on Central Avenue at Santa Fe. And so the 3 parcels that are highlighted there are the parcels being recommended for annexation. So the recommendation today is for the council to hold a public hearing regarding the resolution annexing the territory into the 2016-1 Community Facilities District and consider adoption of that resolution. Subsequent to that, we will then receive the results of the election and authorize the levy of the special taxes within the annexed territory and consider adoption of a second resolution that would declare the results. I'm available for any questions that council may have.
Thank you. Is there any council questions, discussion? Great. So this is a time and place for a public hearing relating to Community Facilities District number 2016-1, annexation number 3. This public hearing relates to the proposed annexation of territory to the district and calling a special election and submitting to the qualified electors of said district propositions regarding the annual levy of special taxes within the Community Facilities District. It is time, bear with me everyone, to take testimony from the public. I would request that each person who speaks give their name and address and state whether they are the owner of the property located within the proposed annexation boundaries or a registered voter residing within the proposed boundaries of such territory to be annexed into the district. I am going to open this public hearing. Any comments?
Mayor, we did not receive any comments and there are no comments on Zoom.
Great. I'm going to close this public hearing and before I close actually, are there any property owners subject to the proposed special taxes who wish to file written protests? If so, they must be filed with the city clerk at this time.
Mayor, we did receive the consent and waiver from the landowner to annex the territory of the Community Facilities District number 2016-1, annexation number 3, and it will be attached for the record.
Thank you. Okay, so I will close this public hearing now. Is there a motion from the council?
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve item 10.1, both resolutions.
This would be the first resolution annexing the territory.
Okay, so for the first resolution.
Second.
Call please.
Councilmember Uribe,
Yes.
Councilmember Pimentel,
Yes.
Councilmember Call,
Yes.
Mayor Hernandez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. The City Council of the City of Riverbank adopted the resolution annexing a territory to a Community Facilities District number 2016-1 Public Services, authorizing the levy of a special tax and submitting levy of tax to qualified electors pursuant to section 53325.1 of the California Government Code. The results of the election authorizing the levy of special taxes within the territory to be annexed to Community Facilities District 2016-1 Public Services shall now be declared.
Mayor, Council, we received 7 number of votes were in favor of the ballot measure to annex and levy taxes. 0 number of votes were in opposition of the ballot measure. There is at least two-thirds majority vote in favor of the ballot measure. The resolution declaring the election results and directing the recording of an amendment notice of special lien taxes shall be adopted.
Thank you. And so are we seeing the second resolution right now, 10.2? So, right, is there a motion to accept the second resolution?
So I'll make a
Right.
motion to approve item 10.1, the second resolution.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe?
Yes.
Councilmember Pimentel?
Yes.
Councilmember Call?
Yes.
Mayor Hernandez?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right, item 10.2. First reading by title only, an introduction of an ordinance approving the rezone of approximately 1.94 acres to planned development, resolution to consider approval of vesting tentative subdivision map, and 2, architecture and site plan review.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff. Michael Arroyo, contract planner with the City of Riverbank and associate planner with JB Anderson Land Use Planning. So before you this evening for your consideration is a project known as Sierra Village. Turn it off, apologize. The project is located at 6509 Claus Road. The subject property is just under 2 acres in size. And the property itself has a general plan land use designation of medium density residential. It also sits within the R1 or single family residential zoning district. Now, the applicant this evening is seeking council approval for 3 planning entitlements. The first being the rezone of the subject property from its existing zoning district from R1 to a new planned development zoning district. The second entitlement is a vesting tentative subdivision map to allow the subdivision of that single 1.94 acre parcel into 27 single family residential lots and 2 other lots to serve the property. And then lastly, this application includes an architecture and site plan review of the housing units, excuse me. So here we have a photo, an aerial photo of the subject property. You can see that it is presently vacant, undeveloped and unimproved, and sits there on Claus Road, and it is sandwiched between Sierra Street and Stanislaus Street. So as mentioned previously, the property has a general plan land use designation of medium density residential. So the property itself is identified there, and that medium density residential carries a density range of 8 to 16 dwelling units per acre. Now, what's unique about this property is that it actually sits or is located within what the general plan calls is the infill opportunity area. So what is that? So again, outlined in red, the property, and then those diagonal lines indicate that. And that's a photo taken out just from the general plan. So the general plan says that that infill opportunity area, is an area that is already developed, but there are properties that are in that area that sit vacant and undeveloped, as we just saw of this property itself. So what the general plan calls for within this infill opportunity area is that the city will employ vast strategies, an array of strategies that will allow further and additional development within this area. So with respect to housing specifically, the general plan prescribes housing, including or consisting of apartment buildings, condos, townhomes, small lot, single family structures, and other more compact residential dwelling units. So as we'll see as we move further in the project, that this project itself kind of is characterized by these things that are outlined in the general plan, specifically related to the infill opportunity area. With respect to the project itself, the project has been conditioned to establish prior to recordation of the final map, which is a subsequent step after the tentative map is approved. Prior to recordation of that final map, the applicant will be required to establish a joint maintenance agreement or a homeowners association to take care of the long-term maintenance, excuse me. So think of the internal roadways, curbs, gutters, sidewalk, landscaping, internal lighting, etc. And also, it's a big important thing is that it's also been conditioned to manage all stormwater on site by way, in this case, of a French drain system. The project also has been conditioned as a condition of approval to install off-site improvements. So think of Stanislaus Street, Sierra Street, and Claus Road. So the items that will be required to be installed: curbs, gutters, sidewalks, wood fencing, and then also a concrete masonry unit wall along the Claus Road frontage. So here we get our first look of the tentative map on the left, and then architectural renderings of the development there on the on the right side. So we can see that they have front-facing dwelling units that face Stanislaus Street. We have that CMU wall on the western boundary of Claus Road, which acts as a barrier to noise, traffic, etc., for the backyards on those homes running north and south. We can see that internal roadway, which is Lot A on that map. It serves as the internal driveway. And also the French drain system runs along the, runs north and south between Stanislaus and Sierra Street. You can also see that the applicant didn't just make it a flat surface parking lot. They've also added landscaping, landscape strips, and trees as well. So here we get our first look at that architecture site plan review. These are compact dwelling units, residential dwelling units. These are for-sale market rate units. They range in size. Again, they're compact, right? Consistent with the general plan's infill opportunity area. They range in size from 780 square feet. This is the Model A, a little bigger, 786 square feet. They are all, except for the second model, which I'll show you here shortly, they are all 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. So this is the larger of the 4 models, the 2 bedroom, 2 bath offering at just 929 square feet. 2 bedroom, one bathroom. So they're proposing 4 different models. And here's the last model proposed. So finally, we'll see while it's a separate submittal, included with this application, we see the proposed landscaping plan. You see on the right side, the architectural renderings. And here on the left side, this was included in the original submittal. In the bottom left, it says the applicant has agreed to increase the park space to double in size. So originally there were 28 units, residential units proposed. They've since reduced that, working with staff, and have increased, they've doubled the size. So a little animation there to illustrate that instead of 28, they've doubled that park space. And that's reflected in this exhibit here on the right, on the top right. So as it relates to CEQA, staff has processed this application exempt for qualified housing projects. This project, prior to our meeting tonight, was presented to the Planning Commission for review, scrutiny, of course, and they voted unanimously to recommend approval to you, City Council 5-0. So there are 3 actions that are being recommended by staff. The first is to adopt a first reading of the proposed ordinance, which would approve the rezone for the property from its existing R1 zone to a new plan development. The second is to adopt a resolution approving the tentative subdivision map. And then lastly, approving the architecture site plan review. So that concludes staff's report. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer any questions. Also, the applicant is here and would like to address any comments, questions that council may have. So thank you.
Are there any questions or comments from council? Do you know, off the top of your head, if you have this written somewhere, the public transit stops in that area? I imagine there'll be young families be in this space.
Sure. I do not know exactly where the nearest transit stop is, but I can certainly find that for you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other comments or questions from council? All right, this is a public hearing, so I'm gonna open it for public comment. Any public comment?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, fellow council members. Rick Mummert with Benchmark Engineering, 4265 Spires Way in Modesto. Representing Carrie Hahn and Gary Lev. Gary Lev was with me this evening. Those renderings are his vision of something that's unique. I've never designed a project like that in 41 years, but it gives everyone an opportunity. And we heard the word market rate, right? So it's not low income housing. And I think that the pride of that ownership and that project stands for itself. But I'm here to answer any questions the council may have, or if you have any architectural questions for Gary, we'd be happy to answer them. I want to thank staff and Riverbank's planning staff and Michael and his group for working with us over, 6 or 8 months to get something that the city could be proud of.
Maybe we'll have you on standby in case there's any questions from the public. Are there any comments or questions from the public right now? Or any online?
Mayor, there is no one on Zoom and I did not receive any written comments.
I mean, it looks great, and I think we need that variety of housing for sure. I'd love to hear some follow-up on the public transit, some bicycling access and that kind of thing for it at a future meeting or when you can follow up.
Yeah, I'm like Michael, I'm not sure where the public transit stop is, but I know we are widening Claus Road. So to its ultimate half width. So, and I know the county is doing some work on Stanislaus and the Canning Island there. And then we have a new intersection going in at Sierra with the project on the southeast corner and our northwest corner, kind of tying in all that from a standpoint where they can cross Claus Road and get over to the high school fairly easily. Pedestrian, access, that's about it. But thank you.
So Mayor and Council, Stan RTA Route 60 is literally just a few steps away from that intersection of Stanislaus and Claus Road. So they will have easy access to Route 60.
In fact, I was gonna echo what city manager said. There is bus stops adjacent, like she mentioned. And I think our ultimate plan for Claus, it does include some bike lanes. Although you can sort of see some near the new developments we've done by the high school. Eventually, as properties and other properties develop, those facilities will get built out.
Thank you so much. All right. You want to add something? Oh, thank you. I will close this public hearing. And if there's no further comments or questions from council, I will entertain a motion.
For clarification, 3 action items, can we do them all at one time?
Yes, you could do them all together, and then the first time would come back for second reading on consent at the next meeting.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve item 10.2, all 3 action items.
I'll second.
Call please.
Councilmember Uribe?
Yes.
Councilmember Pimentel?
Yes.
Councilmember Call?
Yes.
Mayor Hernandez?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Item 10.3, first reading by title only, an introduction of ordinance approving rezone 01-2025, rezoning 5.83 acres to plan development, and 2 resolutions to approve vesting tentative subdivision map and architectural site plan review located at 4537 California Avenue for the Meadowview subdivision.
Mayor and Council, I'm really excited to introduce Teresa McDonald, our senior planner, with her first presentation to council tonight.
So be kind, please. Well, I was going to introduce myself, but thank you, Marisol, for doing that. Teresa McDonald, senior planner, and I'm here to present the rezone and vesting tentative subdivision map application 01-2025 and an architecture site plan review 04-2025 for the Meadowview subdivision. So the project site, the project includes a rezone from single-family residential or R1 to a planned development designation to allow the 5.83 acre project site to be subdivided into 31 single-family residential lots. The project site is located at 4537 California Avenue at the northwest corner of the Snedeker Road and California Avenue intersection. The project site is currently improved with a single-family dwelling, accessory dwelling unit, barn, and 2 accessory structures, which are located on the southeast corner of the project site. The remainder of the project site is currently vacant and was previously used as a pasture. The site is surrounded by ranchettes to the north, east, and south, and a single-family residential subdivision to the west. If the project is approved, the existing single-family dwelling and accessory dwelling unit will remain, and the remaining structures will be removed. The project site has a general plan designation of medium density residential, or MDR, which has a density of 8 to 16 units per acre. Rezoning the site from R1 to planned development will allow for a deviation in the development standards in the R1 district, including minimum parcel size, which will actually allow the project to be developed consistent with the general plan. As part of the development of the project, it will be required to install a 4-way stop sign at the Snedeker Road and California Avenue intersection, pay all system development fees to account for the impact the project will have on the community, including their fair share of contribution towards the planned signalization of Snedeker and Patterson, and install offsite improvements, including curb gutter and sidewalk. So here is a look at the tentative map. The vesting tentative subdivision map will divide the project site into 31 residential lots, ranging in size from 4,500 square feet to 10,643 square feet, with the larger one being shown at the bottom right-hand side of the screen where the existing dwelling is located. There will also be a 20,000 square foot dual-use basin. Access will be provided via 2 proposed interior streets to Snedeker and California Avenue. Proposed improvements include fencing, landscaping, lighting, curb gutter, and sidewalk, which will be installed along the interior streets and along the northern section of California Avenue and western portion of Snedeker Road adjacent to the project site. So the applicant has provided an architectural submittal that includes 8 models that offer 3 unique elevations, and here is an example of one of the models. The plans are single story and feature a 2-car garage, great room, and covered patio. To ensure privacy, the side elevations of the homes show a few windows. The smallest model is 1,466 square feet in size with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And the largest model is 2,118 square feet in size with 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. The project was reviewed as part of CEQA and found to be exempt from California Environmental Quality Act per CEQA guidelines section 21159.21 for qualified housing projects. The Planning Commission considered this item at a public hearing on June 17th, 2025. 5 area residents spoke during the public hearing. The majority of the comments related to concerns with the proposed xeriscape landscaping, specifically with the prevalence for weeds to grow and the bark to wash away. There were also concerns regarding the increase in traffic generated by the project. Residents were pleased to hear that the project would trigger the intersection at the project site to be improved with a 4-way stop. Ultimately, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the project to the City Council on a vote of 5-0. To conclude, staff is recommending the City Council adopt an ordinance approving rezone 01-2025 to rezone the 5.83 acre parcel from single-family residential to planned development, and adopt 2 resolutions approving vesting tentative subdivision map 01-2025 and architecture and site plan review 04-2025. That concludes my presentation. I'm available to answer questions, as is the applicant and representative. Thank you.
Are there any comments right now from council? Questions? All right, I am going to open the public hearing. Any comments or questions from the public?
Good evening, Mayor Hernandez, members of the council. Kerry Pope, 3237 Riverside Drive here in Riverbank. happy to bring this project before you. We're trying to bring some, again, some housing into Riverbank. Land is getting scarce here, so we're trying to utilize every bit that we can. So I'm available for any questions that you may have.
Thank you. And maybe we'll have you on standby as well.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the public? Daniela?
Mayor, there is no one on Zoom, or we did not receive any public comment.
Thank you. I am closing this public hearing. Any other questions or comments from council or a motion?
I'll just say, Teresa, you handled that like a pro. Good, nice job. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve item 10.3.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe?
Yes.
Councilmember Pimentel?
Yes.
Councilmember Call?
Yes.
Mayor Hernandez?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
You. All right, item 11.1, a resolution of concurrence and support of fiscal year 24-25 Stanislaus Home Consortium and Stanislaus Urban County Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report.
Mayor and Council, Leticia Ibanez will provide the report on this item.
Good evening, Mayor Hernandez, City Council members, staff, and everyone. I'm here to seek a recommendation for the resolution of concurrence and support for the fiscal year 24-25 for the Stanislaus Home Consortium for Stanislaus County. Okay, so as I want to introduce the presentation. So as part of the annual reporting requirements under the United States Department of Housing HUD's consolidated plan, the county prepares and submits a consolidated annual performance and evaluation report, known as the CAPER. The report outlines the county's progress in meeting the goals and established in the consolidated plan for each program year. For the fiscal year 24-25, the CAPER details the administration and oversight of the federal funded projects and activities by the Department of Planning and Community Development. It highlights the use of the community block grant known as the CDBG and Emergency Solution Grant, ESG funds, and it documents measurable outcomes for each participating jurisdiction. Public input is the key component for this process. To promote transparency, ensure community engagement, and comply with the HUD requirements for each urban county member. Each urban county member was responsible for conducting a community meeting to solicit feedback on the draft CAPER. The community meeting for our jurisdiction was held on August the 18th. Excuse me. Was held on August the 18th at 4 p.m. via Zoom, during which the following presentation was shared with the attendees. So for the consolidated plan evaluation report for fiscal year 24-25, the consortium prepared the presentation and to present the HUD entitlement since 2001. The lead entity for the consortium and urban county members is Stanislaus County, and it's been established since 2001. City of Riverbank joined the Stanislaus Urban County in the fiscal year of 2021. Stanislaus County became the lead entity in 2023 for the Stanislaus Home Consortium. The HUD entitlement requirements consist of the consolidated plan, which is done every 5 years. The annual action plan is done annually, and the CAPER, known as the Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, is done annually. So for fiscal 24-25, the HUD entitlement funding for the programs that received the allocations were CDBG for $2,305,008. For ESG, it was $205,225. For the community block grant, CDBG CV1 and CV3, the allocations are listed on the right-hand side. And for the home, it was 262,718. And for the CDBG program, it was shared it was shared among the 7 cities, and for home, it was for the 8 cities. That's including the Sherlock jurisdiction. Here is the final allocations that we received for the fiscal year 24-25 from Stanislaus Urban County funding allocations. For the city of Riverbank, we received a total of 61.2. For CDBG program, the CDBG block grant objectives were, it's for directly benefit low to moderate income people. And it's to prevent and eliminate slum and blight conditions and or meet a particular urgent community development need. For the objectives for the CDBG Block CV, all funded activities must be CDBG eligible activities for the purpose of preventing, preparing, and responding to COVID-19. For the fiscal year 24-25, the projects, Stanislaus Urban County listed the projects for each jurisdiction on there. And you'll see that City of Riverbank, we have the allocated for the water and sewer line replacement, and that's located out in High Street and Riverside Drive. So for the water and sewer line project out in the High and Riverside Drive, the pictures there that would take place like in the alley and in that area of that area of the High Street and Riverside Drive around the Pioneer Park. The allocated CDBG funds estimated for this project was $771,000. The overall project budget is $1,157,687. For this project, the NEPA has been completed. And for the project status on this particular project, the project is tentatively to be scheduled to be rebid in the fall of 2025. For fiscal year 24-25 is the CDBG Public Services. On the left-hand side, you'll see that the nonprofit organizations of the funds that were allocated were $325,000, all be at 80% average median income or below. 1,900 unduplicated individuals were served, 500 individuals with disability, 1,038 homeless persons were assisted, and 144 were over 62 years of age. 92 of them were female head household. For the CDBG grant program, the funds allocated were $2,791,749. Out of those funds, 12 programs were funded. For the CDBG CV1 Public Services, the other program funded service providers were on the left. You'll see that the Cambridge Academy received the amount located on the right hand side, and each one of those service providers received those the funds from the CBTG CV Public Service Fund. For CDBG CV3 Public Service, again, the funded public service providers listed on the left-hand side from Cambridge Academy down to the Salvation Red Shield, and the amounts that were allocated are listed on the right-hand side. For the ESG Emergency Solution Grants Program, the purpose for this program is to engage homeless individuals and families living on the street, rapid rehouse homeless individuals and family, help operate and provide essential services and emergency shelters for homeless individuals and families. It's also to prevent individuals and families from becoming homeless. The ESG CV purpose, all funded activities must be ESG eligible activities and for the purpose of preventing and preparing and responding to COVID-19. For fiscal year 24-25, the ESG program, the nonprofit organizations were listed on the left-hand side. The funds allocated for those programs was $205,225. 3 public service grants, those consisted of 30% average median income or below. 403 unduplicated individuals were served, 157 individuals with disabilities. 23 of them were seniors and 27 were veterans. For Stanislaus Home Consortium, there's requests for proposals are still pending, and we're hoping to them to be released in the fall of 2025. And if once these funds are released, we're hoping they're generally fall into the 4 categories. So there's rehabilitation for owner-occupied housing, assistance to home buyers, acquisition, rehabilitation or construction for rental housing, and tenant-based rental assistance. For fiscal year 24-25 CAPER, the outcomes and progress of the 5-year goals. Listed here is the community emergency response, rapid rehousing household. The goal was for 10, the outcome, we're hoping at 9%. And the homeless oversight shelters for individuals, homeless prevention for individuals, improve public infrastructure, provide public services, work to end and prevent homelessness, and affordable housing. And the goal for the 24-25 for affordable housing is 21, and for public services, we're looking at it was 1,088. And for improved public infrastructure for households was 1,500. Public comment period. The public comment period was from August 8th to September 16th. So we're still in that period. They're listed all the listings that were sent out. And we listed our community meeting on our website, social media website. And then we have it open for questions. Each jurisdiction was supposed to, we were to provide a community meeting. We provided ours on August the 18th, and we presented it via Zoom at 4 o'clock.
Thank you very much. Are there any comments or questions from council?
Letty, I don't have any questions on this slide, but just as a refresher though, so most of my district falls under the CDBG, the low to moderate income. But as we start to see like developments kind of pop up and proceed forward, how often are those areas reassessed to see if they still fall, if they still meet those CDBG guidelines? Could you, I can't remember if it's annually or how often.
The CDBG for those allocations to
Correct.
be received, they have to fall under the a specific income criteria that HUD puts out.
Okay. Do you know if that's reassessed annually or is that a
It's
certain?
assessed annually,
Annually,
yes.
okay.
We receive those income limits annually.
Got it. Thank you.
So those are the income limits. I think the question was with regards to this designated census tracts that are, so usually those are part of the census
So
every 10
years.
years. Yes.
Got it.
Any other comments or questions? Am I correct in that Cambridge Academies, and I wish they were here, are not providing services for host house anymore?
That's correct. As of the new fiscal year, 25-26, they are no longer providing services there.
You know if there's been conversations yet if that funding will transition to our program?
So they applied for funding and were not awarded. It was awarded to other programs, which is why they needed to close and no longer able to provide funding.
Oh. Okay, any public comment? Questions? Any online?
No, Mayor, we do not have anyone online.
All right, I'm going to bring it back for consideration.
You have a good evening.
Is there a motion?
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve item 11.1.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe?
Yes.
Councilmember Pimentel?
Yes.
Councilmember Carr?
Yes.
Mayor Hernandez?
Yes,
Motion passes 4-0.
thank you. Item 11.2, a resolution approving the creation of an adopt a storm drain program.
Mayor and Council, this item is a follow-up to a presentation that you received at the July 22nd City Council meeting. So I don't have a follow-up presentation as the majority of the information was provided there. So it is with regards to establishing an Adopt a Storm Drain program, which would allow citizens to volunteer to maintain the storm drain inlets that are closest to their homes. The benefits to the city, of course, it would reduce the staff time necessary to go out, maintain the storm drains, make sure that they're free and clear of any potential pollutants that could make its way into the storm drain system itself and ultimately reach our rivers. So in the creation of the Adopt a Storm Drain program, we are providing two options. One would be a program that would be run entirely in-house. So it would require staff time in order to create the program guidelines to make sure that we're properly addressing all of the requirements that we're asking residents to ensure that they're doing on a continual basis with regards to maintaining those storm drain inlets. It would also have regulations regarding transfers of liabilities, what they can't do, and making sure that they're constantly in communication with the city to make sure that we're gathering the information we need to be able to submit that to the state of California as part of our municipal stormwater permit. So it would require some time for us to be able to create those guidelines, develop a marketing plan, develop that tracking mechanism, and then do the continual monitoring and follow-up. Of course, the costs would be offset by the fact that our public works staff would have a little bit less time having to go out and maintain those particular storm drains that are adopted. The second option is being able to join a already established program through Hamline University and their Center for Global Environmental Education. So for a fee, of course, they would administrate and provide oversight over the program. We would simply upload our GIS data with regards to the location of those storm drain inlets. Our residents who would like to volunteer would create an account with them, select the inlet that they're interested in adopting, and then that would create the relationship between the Hamline University and the resident in order to have back and forth conversations with regards to the efforts that those residents are making. How much trash are they picking up? Has it been primarily green waste? Has it been primarily things like bottles, cans, etc.? So that then they create the report that we will need in order to send that to the state for our MS4 permit. They'll provide support to the residents, create our marketing materials, deliver yard signs, and then, as I mentioned, create that annual report. So both do come at a cost, which whether it's in-house, us creating our own marketing materials, us creating the letters that are needed to go out, us having to spend staff time reaching out to the residents who are participating as part of the program. So what we are recommending is that council establish a budget of $5,000, which would cover either or program. With regards to option number 2, joining the Hamline University program, that one does include a one-time fee of $1,800, which is already included in that $5,000 budget. In order to do the GIS data upload, customize a website that's specific to the city of Riverbank, creating the graphics for all of the materials and marketing, and the welcome letter that we would use to send out to residents. Then for the annual membership fee, that would be an ongoing $3,400. And that would create the annual membership, the report preparation for our stormwater permit, and then giving us marketing signs, giving us welcome packages, and then paying for the distribution and mailing cost and an administrative fee for them. So at this time, we do recommend that council select one of the two options, and then via resolution, adopt that option, and then allocate a budget of not to exceed $5,000 for the creation of the program. And I'm available for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from council?
I just have a couple. How many drains would need to be adopted to make this worthwhile for us? How many do we have and how many would need to be adopted to make this investment worth it?
I don't know how many we have. That's a number we can certainly get. How many would need to be adopted? Honestly, there would probably need to be quite a few.
And then any other cities, have they talked about their adoption rate or how effective this process actually is? I mean, it's $5,000, I get that, but there's an annual renewal associated with it. And I'm just curious if it's worth our while to go through with this program and invest in it and then not get a return. And so we're paying for it and no one's doing it.
So no, we did not reach out to any other cities. I didn't see any other cities in Stanislaus County that had that adopt a storm drain specific program. We do not have anything to compare it to within our county.
Okay, so I do appreciate that it is structured as an annual commitment because I do kind of share some of the same concerns as Stacy. So I know there's two in the Bay Area that are running the program. I didn't have I wasn't able to look at the data to see if it is how they're kind of comparing that, right? And so, but I would like to see if we do move forward with this, how we evaluate the potential savings to offset staff time, right? So, because currently we are meeting the MS4 requirements currently, and so the reports that we would get from this would be on top of the current reporting, right? And so we're already having the 2 inspections a year. We also just brought the street sweeping in-house, right? And so we heavily invested. We're seeing massive improvements citywide for that. We're going into fall. So we're getting ready for that. We don't know how that's going to be, right? But we are heavily invested in that. So if we move forward with this, I think we should proceed carefully and find a way to kind of measure the results. And if we do it, I would lean towards option 2. I don't think staff at Public Works has the capacity to run this. And I have spoken about my concerns about ensuring the waiver liabilities are there to protect, to protect us. So that's kind of where I'm at. If we move forward, option 2, with a 1-year option, reassess it. Is it offsetting staff time? And then we kind of go from there.
I agree. I would like to do the pilot year and leaning towards option 2 as well. I don't want to speak for Cynthia, but do you know if she's online? But she had brought forward this item a few times. So we had this discussion. And from the conversations, we would hope that it complements the street sweeping, so that if there's anything obstructing the drains, that people who are adopting them can move them and clear the pathway for a street sweeper. I think, I would love to see some sort of data collected over the course of the year and reassess after another year for it. Anything
Mayor,
else?
just to let you know, she's not online.
Okay, thank you. Any public comment? And I'll bring it back for council consideration. I would like to make a motion to pilot it for 1 year with option 2 and to collect as much data as possible. I think there is a pretty robust data collection from the website itself, so I would love to reassess that after a year. At the $5,000 I'm using as minimal as possible for our membership.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe?
Yes.
Councilmember Pimentel?
Yes.
Councilmember Call?
No.
Mayor Hernandez?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-1.
You, item 12.1, staff comments, reports.
A couple of staff comments today. All city offices will be closed this Friday due to our 980 work schedule and Monday for the Labor Day holiday. The city received 20 applications for youth council, so we're really excited to see so much interest happening. So interviews will be held this Saturday, August 30th, with the goal of appointments being made at the September 9th meeting. And we have received a response from HCD, Housing and Community Development, regarding our housing element. Unfortunately, we received another comment letter which will require an additional scope of work and budget to prepare responses, which then, of course, will also trigger a 60-day review period by HCD. A copy of the letter has been posted to our housing element webpage on the city's website if anybody is interested. And that is all from staff.
You, Councilmember Uribe.
Thank you, Mayor. So I want to thank the chamber. I don't think they're here today, but I want to thank them for hosting a mixer last week at one of their chamber members at the 108. They had a pretty fun karaoke night, had some raffle prizes. Rumor is I sang pretty terribly, but we did have a lot of fun there. And so I appreciate the chamber for getting out there and including the members and having fun events like that. So hopefully more residents, more members can kind of come out there and join us for these kind of fun events. TJ Maxx, if you haven't heard, is doing a job fair today and tomorrow. They're going to be holding it at the RIC at the industrial complex from 8 to 5. So if you know anybody, share, spread the word. And then I was also going to share this Saturday, we are doing the youth council interviews, selecting and then sending those recommendations to council for September 9th. So that's all I got.
You, Councilmember Pimentel.
Thank you, Mayor. On the 15th, I attended the Modesto Nuts with the council and Sister City. Council member Uribe took first place in the hula hoop contest, which I think mine had cement in it. Just saying. On the 22nd, Sister City met at Pizza Plus, finalizing the details for the September 13th Mexican Independence Dinner. And we're going to be doing the silent auction. Tickets are $40. Reach out to the city staff. On the 22nd, Francis at Red Robin partnered with Community Praise Tabernacle for a fundraiser. Also, our faith-based churches in Riverbank, all denominations, if you could reach out to me, I'll be more than happy to promote you on my city Facebook page, and that's all I have for now.
Councilmember Call.
So last week, I had the opportunity to ride with the Sheriff's Department helicopter, which time of my life. We discussed how we as a contract city benefit to access of air support for search and rescue, suspect tracking, and emergency aerial support. So thank you to Chief Ridenour and our police services for all you do. New business, I want to revisit our Greenbelt agreement with Oakdale. It came up in a meeting. I'd like to revisit to protect our city's identity, growth boundaries, and our long-term planning. And then ordinance enforcement, it has been brought to several of our attention that the part-time enforcement officer did not work out. So we are looking to refulfill it, but I just want to put pressure and reinforce the importance of this position because of the illegal vendor enforcement to protect the integrity of health and safety standards within our city. And then for follow-up, I have reviewing the Opportunity Stanislaus contract and terminating that agreement. From my understanding, they wanted to do a workshop. All of council wanted them to come present. They are not here. We've been talking about this for over 3 months now, so I don't understand why we're still talking about it. And then lastly, adding a deputy. I'd really like to get council support on this with the 6-year fulfill rate. Pretty much, it takes up to 6 years. We saw tonight we're adding about 40 more units, 50 more units. We have increased retail, so I don't really understand why this keeps coming up.
Thank you. For StanCog, I am chair of the Valley Vision Steering Committee. This committee, one of many, sets forth the development pattern for a region, which when combined with transportation policies aims to reduce GHG and is now assessing vehicle miles traveled as imposed by the state. We went over the public participation plan, which is a fluid document. They are, I'm happy to report, increasing and making this more robust. So they're going to come to council. They're going to be working with a partner, a nonprofit that specializes in community engagement and going to be partnering around that over the course of the next few months. So when there's a website that I can pass along as well for that. And StanCog is moving forward with looking for a new executive director. So there was a decision to terminate the prior executive director. And there's an ad hoc committee that is spearheading the independent investigation. I was kind of voluntold, but I'm happy to volunteer on the ad hoc committee for a new executive director search. With all that's going on with the grand jury report and with the ongoing work that has to happen with StanCog, we're moving both pieces at the same time. That ad hoc committee, second ad hoc committee, is with Supervisor Graywall and Mayor George Carr. So I'll be reporting more on that as soon as we get together, and we're going to be getting together more frequently than the monthly StanCog meetings. We've been attending the CDAC, which is the Consolidated Emergency Dispatch Agency Commission meetings, and as a contract city, it's important to us to be attentive to all the changes, ongoing changes, and we trust that county sheriff, SR 911, and everyone involved prioritizes the services to our residents. We had a successful Riverbank Industrial Complex meeting. Present was the Army, US EPA, our Congress member McClintock, and Amended with our city staff and council member Uribe. It was a room full of people who are wanting to push forward the projects that we have, just like council, going on at the Riverbank Industrial Complex. I think there's a renewed sense of motivation, and we're really excited to have that moving forward. I got my 2 tickets for the Mexican Independence Day event. So I'll see you all there. And I also want to thank Station 26 Fire Department, Sheriff, Riverbank Police Services, SR 911, Caltrans, everybody that was involved in protecting our community last week during the fires, 30 acres. There was quick communication, and all of us were able to, I think, handle the kind of distress that was happening during that time. So thank you all very much. And that is it. We're adjourning to closed session. Item 13.1, conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code 54957.6. Agency rep, city manager, Maricela H. Garcia, employee organization, Riverbank miscellaneous employees. And then item 13.2, conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code 54957.6. Agency rep, city manager, Maricela H. Garcia, employee organizations, Riverbank Mid-Management Employee Association. 13.3, liability claims pursuant to Government Code 54961, claimant Rosemary Sandoval, agency claimed against City of Riverbank. We are adjourning to closed session.
Public comment.
Oh, public comment. Are there any? I forget every time. Is there any public comment on the closed session items? Any online?
Mayor, there is no one online wishing to speak.
All right, we are adjourning. We are returning from closed session, item 14.1. Report from 13.1, direction has been given to staff. Item 14.2, report from item 13.2, direction has been given to staff. 14.3, report from item 13.3. Council has voted to unanimously deny the claim. The next regular city council meeting will be on Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. This meeting is adjourned.
Hey.